Okay, this is video 2. I'm going to walk you through how to generate some leads and how to use the lead software, and then how we'll migrate those into particular contacts and accounts, which were in the other video I showed you shortly. And then I'll be able to do another video after that with showing in how to do deals, how to convert leads into deals, and then how to look at your overall activity list. So let's click on the leads drop down. Now currently there's only these 4 or 5 leads that several people had put in. Adam put in some, and Denny and Carla put in a couple leads to get started. However, this will be pre-populated with thousands of them once we dump the ambulance leads into the system. So let's use an example. Let's say I'm going in and I want to get in touch with Ken Jarvis. So I can click on Ken Jarvis's information. Adam put this information in. I can email Ken if I want to, or I can pick up the phone and call him. Here's the phone number. So I can pick up my phone and call him directly from my cell phone, or if this is integrated into and you have internet access, you can dial right from your computer if you like, and do web-based calls if you choose. If you do the calls on your cell phone, it will record those calls and dump them into the ZOHO CRM component that is attached to your phone, that will then link to this email and this visualization that you see on my computer. They sync and talk to one another, of course, so if you do any of this activity on your cell phone through the ZOHO app, all the documentation and everything you do will then populate here. So I can send the email to this client directly from here. I can convert this into a deal later or into another format if I choose, once I get information from this client on whether or not they're interested with us or not. As before, you see we can add notes, add attachments. This is where I can create new tasks, which I showed you earlier in the contacts and the accounts when I did it earlier, where I can set up future tasks to follow up with this gentleman on another day or another time. I can set up a phone call or event here, or I can log a call. So let's just do this. Let's say I spoke to Mr. Jarvis and he wasn't there, and I left a message. So let's just put in a new call. I can say that I contacted Mr. Jarvis. I can put the subject of what the call was, what the purpose of the call was, that I was prospecting, I was doing whatever, setting up a demo. And then it'll tell, obviously it's an outbound call that we're starting with. So it will log the current call that we're on if we're in the system, or I can say I've already completed the call, and then I'll put the information in manually. So you can say I spoke today at 2:18 and I was on the phone for 15 minutes, and here's what we discussed. What was the call result? I have a future follow-up. Then I'll hit save. That will log the call that I just had, okay? I can also schedule a future call right from here if I choose, to set up another time that I want to follow up with this gentleman 2 weeks from now, following up with our initial contact point. Okay, so that's working this lead. Again, I showed you how to put tasks in the previous video and events. Now we should walk through how to access and actually record a call itself. Again, we can go through the email listing. You should not have a history with emails in here like I showed you in the contacts, because this is a brand new contact, right? But once we move Mr. Ken Jarvis into a contact or into an account, then it will track that information, and we'll be able to see all the history of everything we've done with him at that point. So that's the main components here of a lead. Let's go in and access a new lead, and I can show you how to add that in, very similar to what we did earlier. So if I hit plus and then I hit new lead, I can add in a new lead, just like we did with the other stuff. So I'll put in the customer's information for the name of their company, their first and last name, just like before, what their title is, their email, their phone number, if they have a website associated to it, if their office number is different from their mobile number. Then you can say how we got this call, how we got this lead. Was it funneled through our website? Did we get a referral from someone else that was a previous customer? Did we get the information from the office and now we're following up with it? Did I go and talk to this dealer or to a dealer and I got the lead through that way? So we want to log that and how we got that information. The status of the lead. So again, you can put in attempted to contact. We're going to contact them in the future. I did contact them, and what was the status, or it's a junk lead or a lost lead. A junk lead just means that, we reached out to them, they only use type 3 ambulances, and they have no interest in anything we'll ever build, so you can put it in as a junk lead. Or a lost lead, again, could be a lead that we contacted. It didn't work out and they decided to go with someone else instead, and it was just a lost lead with no future opportunities. So these are the different opportunities that we can identify here as far as the lead status that we're working. And then the rest is very similar to what we've already done. So we can put information in here from their address. We can give a brief description of this. We can save it and record it as a new lead that we're adding in, or we can save it and add other future ones. So that's updating and responding to an existing lead that's in the system. That's also adding in a new lead. And now let's actually look at how we convert this lead. I know they discussed that in our class training we did on last Thursday, but let's say Mr. Jarvis is here and we have a conversation and he's really interested, he wants to move in, and we want to move him into a contact and account so we can start generating quotes for him and possibly make a purchase. So you'll click convert. It automatically creates a new account under Golden Boy Mobility, because that was the name of his company, and creates an actual contact as Ken Jarvis. So it's doing the work for us. We're not actually taking it and re-entering it in. It's doing it all for us. You can also create a new deal right from this. So let's say we spoke to him. He's interested. He wants me to generate a quote. Great. I click convert lead. It does this legwork for me. I click this checkbox, and then will dump me into the deal for me to start building a deal associated to generating a quote for this gentleman. So then you'll hit convert, and it'll move him into those new statuses. Okay. So that's just to recap. We went over how to call or email a lead and just start doing some prospecting. Then we talked about how to add in a new lead as we get new leads that we want to fill our pipeline up so we can work on it at a future date, or how to convert this into a deal and into a contact and account. So on the next video, I'll go over more detail on how deals correlate with leads, and then we'll go into the activities and some other advanced features. Thank you.